There are tons of channels out there that are giving you advice on how to be creative in your business. But one of the videos that I saw was lacking was that there's no real insight into what kind of apps and services we as content creators use to run our businesses. So this video is hopefully going to aim to address that and just let you in on some of the apps and services that I use to run my content creation business. There are others, and if you do find any others, please let me know in the comments below. In fact, I'm going to be giving away a random game code to a random commenter on pretty much every video, I think, going forward. But before we get into it, a word from the sponsor. Want to win 2 tickets to the FIFA 2022 World Cup, loads of Twitch bits, which of course you can give away to your favorite streamers, or original artwork from the Coca-Cola campaign? Well, you can. This video is actually sponsored by Coca-Cola, and they're running the Real Magic campaign right now. Coca-Cola have hidden codes all over their Real Magic video ad, which you can see on screen right now. And if you want to watch the video in completion, if you want to hunt for these codes and redeem the codes that you find, follow the link on screen in the description. Everything you know is going to be there, everything that you need to know at least. And also there'll be a pinned comment with that link to follow as well. Good luck and have fun. I'm very excited about this video because not only am I going to run through some of the services that I use with you, I'm also just gonna kind of let you in on some insight on how I use those services. You are not going to make money out of your YouTube channel, or you're not gonna make the potential amount of money out of your content creation if you don't have a business model. And these business apps will help formulate what that business model looks like. Freshbooks is accounting software that I kind of wish that I jumped into a little bit earlier. I took accounting and doing my tax and all of that stuff not really seriously when I first started. I'm a creative person. I don't want to hear anything about it. I would like submit my own, in South Africa we call them RP5s, to tax, and I used to pay in every year. It wasn't a lot, it was like 100 or 200 rand, but I wasn't earning a lot, and that kind of hit me a little bit. But then one year, I just didn't have the time to meet the deadline, so I actually got an accountant to do my tax for me. He was able to make money back for me. I got money back from the tax man. Get an accountant early days, but FreshBooks helped out with something else. I hated invoicing, and I would often forget to chase up on clients after I invoiced. You'd think that's wild, and in some respects that is quite crazy, but I was, we're doing so many little jobs as a content creator and influencer, especially then I didn't have an agent. To do all of that required a lot of administration, something that doesn't come naturally to me. So FreshBooks allows you to design really cool templates, and then on the home page, when you're on your dashboard of FreshBooks, you'll see that it will tell you how much money is owed to you, which is really cool. So you can then go, these are the invoices outstanding, these are the invoices that have been paid if you will have to manually input when they do get paid. So you can check once a month and have a look at that. And then you can also copy and duplicate invoices that you are invoicing regularly. It has the ability to continually update and send mails to somebody that's a client of yours that is not paying for an invoice. If that invoice is not marked as paid, intermittently, they will just send the invoice automatically back to the client, which was really handy. I know that sounds super annoying, but what I would do is clients that were like especially bad at like not paying invoices, I would just go, hey, listen, the system won't stop invoicing you until that is marked as paid. The other thing with FreshBooks is that it can help you prepare proposals and estimates. So this is really good if a client approaches you and says like, how much does editing this video cost? With the software, you can draw up estimates and proposals, basically quotes that you can send through to the client, and then they can actually physically sign that quote off, and it will then convert into an invoice. And it just looks really professional. You can add your own letterhead to it. FreshBooks is also a mobile app, so if you want to invoice your clients on the road, or if a client is like, hey, quickly, could you drop that invoice? You can literally just be like on the toilet, dropping an invoice to your client and dropping it like it's hot. FreshBooks has saved me so much time and energy, so I highly recommend looking at getting FreshBooks itself as a really cool piece of software, or something like it. The second piece of software that I like to talk about is something called Notion. Now, Notion is kind of relatively new for me. I used to use a piece of software called Trello, which allowed me to group all of my projects inside like a whiteboard with cards that I could shift around the whiteboard. Trello is very good. Asana is also very good, but Notion kind of blends a whole bunch of services together. So Notion acts as kind of like this live web page that you can feed information, create tables, upload pictures to, and then have a page and then sub pages. So what I've done with my Notion, underneath that client's page, I would add a page for the scope of work that I'm expected to do. So like a checklist of all the different posts that I need to have. I'll have a reports page where it'll be a table where I've added all my posts, I'll copy paste the links, and then put in the impressions or the views or the shares there. I'll add a page just for the documents so that any contracts that I've signed with that client will be under that page. So if there's any kind of discrepancy as to what I'm owed or what I owe the client, it's there under that subset of pages. That's like my primary workflow. So Notion is the first thing I open up in the morning, and I just go through like, what am I gonna do today? And I'll usually fix my Notion the day before. So before, just for anxiety's sake, what I do is I'll just go, I'm wrapping up work, let me just go through what I need to do tomorrow, what my tasks should be, and I'll just list them in my to-dos on my Notion. Then underneath that, like obviously the pages for each and every project that goes into more granular detail. If I need to submit reports, they're in there. If I need to reference what the brief is, it's in there. So that's how I use Notion, and I absolutely love it. It's brand new, but it is also accessible on a mobile phone, so I can add screenshots for proof of executions for posts. A proof of execution is if I've done a post for a client, like a tweet, I'll screen grab it and then just share it in a table so that it proves that I've done the work. One of the most important parts of Notion is the ability to make sure that there are reports. You can export every single one of those pages. So you can go to the report for the client and export that report as a PDF and then send it to a client, which is such a lifesaver. Reports are one of the single most important bits of documentation that I do for a client, and nearly every single time I do proper reporting, I will generally get a re-sign on with that client. What that means is that clients really value the fact that you are analyzing the work that you're doing, that you are providing them with the right analytics and statistics, and that what you are servicing with them is quantifiable, that there is a figure around what they are getting for what they are paying for. It's called your ROI. We've spoken about it in another video, but that is so important. If you want to guarantee getting work, reporting is the way to do it. And if you guys want me to do another video on just how to drop a report, and I could do it in Notion even, let me know. Maybe it's something that we can go ahead and make a video about. The next service is something called buffer.com. Now, Buffer is a tool that I've been using for quite some time, and I don't use it all the time, but it's a tool that really helps me out with scheduling posts. I know you can use other pieces of software like Hootsuite, but I find them like extremely bulky and overcomplicated. Buffer is very simple. So how Buffer works is you link all your social media to it, and then you can schedule posts, especially when clients want those posts, throughout the week. So that way you're able to like go on holiday, do all your work, schedule it on a Monday, and then on a Tuesday just disappear. And you know that when that work was meant to go out, when that deadline was meant to happen, it will be out on your social medias. It's also a great way if you want to continually be active on your social media, but you are going away or you're flying for like 12 hours or so. It's just to come up with a tweet or two that you think is going to be engaging and that you can then schedule and get it out there. I'm going to bundle in another app with this section. It's called Planoly or Planoly. Planoly. I don't know how to pronounce that, but it's a way of curating your Instagram feed so that it looks the way you want to, and then you can schedule posts from Planoly. You can schedule posts from there and make sure that your feed looks good, and then you know what is coming up next. You can create your posts, create your captions, and then make sure that everything is well curated, which is really convenient, especially if Instagram is your core business. Next up is Squarespace. I know this one is something that a lot of people already know, and they're just kind of advertising everywhere, so it's like really, it's really hard not to hear their name, but honestly, it's a great service. Squarespace is this really clever service where it's kind of like a drag and drop website. And if you want people to take you and your business seriously, one of the best ways to do that is to have a landing page on the website where people can just go to and check out. Squarespace allows you to kind of just do that. You'll probably spend, if you take a theme, probably spend like an hour or two just designing your website and putting it out there. But with all the core key relevant information, any YouTube videos that you want to embed, any links to your Instagram account and your social media, and just like a descriptor of what you do. I highly recommend not doing too much on your website, but keeping it as simple as possible. And the main reason is that if you're a candidate for a campaign, they're going through a lot of different media. But if you are sweet, short, straight to the point, you're probably gonna get the campaign. So make sure that you are focused and build that website so that it just like elevates your online presence. It also helps with like SEO and stuff. So when people search for who you are or what you do, your name comes up a lot closer to the top. The next service is called influencer.com. There are a lot of services like it. Influencer.com is arguably one of the biggest in the world, and it's a platform where you can link your social media to and then get brand deals. You basically make yourself available for work. It's kind of like where different clients from all around the world are actually shopping for their influencers to put their brand on them. You might not get the best rate for that particular job, but if you get enough work from platforms like Influencer, Webfluential is another one of them, or anyone that's in your country, have a look for them. Just go social media, micro influencers or nano influencers. You should be able to build a portfolio on there and just be approachable to brands through the platform and get consistent work. Consistent work is arguably more important than the amount that you can pay, at least in my opinion, for content creators. Making sure that you can pay your month-to-month business doing what you do as a career is more important than what I like to refer as like a firework job, like 6 months down the line, like something that's gonna pay you like a huge amount of money, but that you've got to trickle over a couple of months. It's possible, but money management becomes really hard. And also you'll be creating less and less content. You want to be creating the most content, which does two things. It not only creates a fair amount of income for you, and consistent income as the months go by, but it also allows other brands to see that you are available for work, which is great. And then you obviously get associated with brands that are like super cool, like Elgato or MSI or Samsung or Suzuki, or you get, and there is already like a perception of your value from something like that. Wherever you are in the world, there are services like this. You've just got to register for as many of them as possible, and then you will slowly start to see that a brand or two bite and allow themselves to do work on your channel. You have to be a certain size for a lot of these services, so hopefully that you've grown your business, or at least your social media following to a certain size, and that you are creating content where advertisers would want to sit and want to like sponsor. Lastly, I'm gonna do a service that's purely for gamers. It's called rainmaker.gg. It used to be called arsenal.gg, and it's a service which does two things. It provides access to analytics for both Twitch and YouTube, but it also is a place to get game keys. One of the hardest parts about being a gaming content creator, especially like a multi-title content creator, is to get the games. Like, how do you approach the developers to provide those games for you? Well, rainmaker.gg is approached by a bunch of different game publishing houses, and you can submit requests for keys and then potentially get granted depending on your size and what you want to do with it. When you request a key, you're going to have to say like what you plan on doing with that key, but it's a great space for different publishers to get access to you and for you to get access to those different publishers, and then also be able to export your analytics, which is super convenient. I'm going to throw in a humble bundle here as well, because it's also a great service to get game keys, which is where I'm going to be getting the game keys that I'm going to be giving to you when you randomly comment on my channel. So what I'm going to do is find a game key or randomly select a game key and send that game key to you. And it's a charity organization. Proceeds from the purchases go to specific charities that the developers want to. You support the developers and you support the charity, so it's super convenient. It's like a great way to buy games for your audience if you're doing giveaways and so on. And lastly, this is the last one. It's a service called Gleam.io. Gleam.io is a giveaway platform where if you are doing anything for your audience in terms of giving away prizes or product, then Gleam.io pretty much has it. It's free to begin with, and it allows you to set up different giveaways through the platform. And then once you've got your, say I'm giving away a game key or something, then you can have a bunch of different entry mechanisms that you can specify that will gain entries. If you've ever entered a giveaway, especially in the gaming space, you probably have entered it on Gleam.io. So check it out. It's a great way to increase engagement, to give back to your community, to just create like a really nice platform, and doing contests or giveaways like this is a great way to engage with your audience, to give back to your audience, to create engagement, to give back to the brands that are working with you. And I do that a lot. I do really cool giveaways which incorporate the brand social media as well as my own social media. And you know, I try and make sure that the brands that I'm working with are doing cool giveaways that really benefit the people that watch, like you guys that are watching this channel. Like, you want to make sure that everybody gets the most value out of it. One of the cons behind Gleam is that there's no mobile app, and I kind of wish there was, you know, some way to either choose and select a winner through it, or embed that through an HTML page onto like a live stream, for instance, like, so you can select a winner and it pops up on the live stream. But it's a really robust service for giveaways. Woo! So that's it. It was all a mouthful. It's super hot here in South Africa right now, and I'm cooking in this room, so I'm gonna end it. If there's anything that you think that I've left out, please comment below. Don't forget, I'm gonna be giving away a random game key to a random commenter down below. Every week, I'm gonna try to do this as frequently as I can. So make sure that you got your notifications on, and make sure that you are subscribed so that I can engage with you and that you can see whether you've won the key or not. And yet maybe we'll do a follow-up. If there's anything that you want me to expound on or create like a longer video on, let me know in the comments below. And we can also discuss this on Twitch. I stream regularly on Twitch, so I'll catch you guys there. Until the next video, cheers.